Re- Hello, everybody, and welcome to your mindset video in February. And it's all about loving yourself, but at the same time wanting to change. So I decided to do this video because I see that it can be really confusing. It's not necessarily because I saw people confused by it, it's mostly because I was confused by it myself. I heard a lot of stories about, oh, love yourself, but change. And sometimes, I want to change because there is some things that I feel like, it would be better if I were a bit different or if I reacted a bit differently. And I talk a lot about like discipline as well, and even self-love and self-care. If you don't do that naturally, let's say organically right now, and I'm kind of encouraging you to do that, that's a change. And I'm like, so if I want to change, that means that I don't like what I have right now, even if the change is towards something really good. You know what I mean? So I thought, you know what? I'll do a video on that, because many things they might look like they are contradictory, but not really. And this is one of them. So loving ourselves as we are has nothing to do with all of those things because first, and I will start here with you so you can see my screen. First thing is the way we are, it's not only us. So the way you perceive yourself right now. So if you think about your qualities, if you think about what you consider your flaws, and if you just describe yourself like I am this person, I like this, I don't like that, many of those things are not just who you are as you are. Many of those things actually come from a set of beliefs that were passed on to you by the environment you grew up in, your parents, your friends, your school, and any things that happened in your life that helped you kind of mold that personality you have. So, actually, digging deep to find out who you actually are, that's a lot of work, in fact, for most of us, especially as adults. We have lived through so many experiences already that might have turned us into who we are today. So, yeah, you can hear my cat. So, one of the things is so sometimes, for example, if you see someone or if you are someone who maybe you don't like a certain behavior on people, or you see that, oh, that behavior is kind of a red flag. Kind of what we talked a little bit before, I think I talked a little bit about people saying that, oh, those long nails, that's such a red flag, or having your picture, as your screensaver. It's kind of the same idea. That probably is because maybe you or these people had a bad experience with someone who had those traits, or maybe more than once, even. And that doesn't mean that you are naturally, let's say, against those people or their behavior. But when you see that, it triggers something in you because of experiences you've had. That works a lot towards any kind of belief you might have, even with people, but I see that a lot with abundance and money issues, or skills. So, of course, because I teach, like dance and everything, very often, I hear people say, oh, I can't do that, or I don't know how to do that, but I don't know how to is still okay. But the I can't, I always encourage people to say yet at the end of their sentences, because maybe you can do that yet because it's a skill. So remember that. So Actually, this whole like, I love myself as I am is definitely to do not with what you see exactly right now or where you are right now only, but also to that child within you, that kind of the person that you want to be when you strip yourself of what was taught to you through experiences, through beliefs from your upbringing, and so on. So I know this is very deep stuff. But as always, bear with me because we're gonna do some exercises, and I'm gonna leave you like with a philosophical thing, and then like, okay, now deal with that. So I'll give you one exercise today. Next week I'm coming, with another exercise for us. So we're gonna work through that. And what I would like then to talk about is who is that then? So if I am right now not only myself, but also layers of things, that might not be necessarily me. There is two things. Actually, there is only one written here, but there is one more I will actually write and edit right now, which is think of the world as empty. So what do these two things here mean? So basically, first, I deeply believe that if you can dream it, it's for you. For the longest time, I believed that everything the world was very unfair because so many people could dream of things and never achieve them. Then little by little, I started seeing that I don't know the whole world, so I can't really speak for everybody. But for us, for you watching me, you have an internet connection, you have a device that you're watching me from. So definitely you are in a position in which you are on Patreon, like you're in a position in which you have the power to change your life. You can do that. I can do that, you can do that. We can all do that. And the thing is, people have different dreams, right? So I might dream of a pink yacht. Who knows? Maybe I do. Some people don't care about that. Maybe you dream of having a beautiful house in the countryside and 5 kids running around. Maybe you dream of being on a world tour with Dita Fontees. Maybe you dream of backpacking alone through Asia. I don't know. We have different dreams. We are different people. And I truly, deeply believe that if you dream that, that's because it is for you. So somehow, by doing the work, you're going to get there. Some of you, it's like running after it. Some of you will just kind of, life will unfold on their way. But I really believe it's for you if you follow what feels right to you. And so that's one way of discovering who you are. It's all about writing. Maybe you can journal about it, like write it down. What is it that you love? What is it that you care about deeply? And adding to that exercise, the thing that I just did, think of the world as totally empty. If that's very important. So listen closely. If there was nobody else in the world, just you, everybody vanishes. What would you do? As in, not talking about like, okay, I will be desperate. Of course, I get that. But what I mean is, what would you wear if nobody was going to see you? What would you do in the morning if you were the only person on earth? Would you cuddle with your cat? Would you sleep late? Would you wake up really early and just, I don't know, walk around to see the world? Would you walk around naked? Would you dress up in yellow? What would you do if you were the only person? So nobody could see you. Nobody would judge you. And that's a very good way of finding out what you really, really want, because then it's you and yourself, nobody else. So these two things. So this is actually kind of a good exercise. I have an extra homework for you, but why not? You can journal with that. And I think I mentioned that before. If you don't like journaling, so sometimes I just like to speak. I have a voice recorder on my phone, and then I'll just record a message talking about these things, because just putting it out there, either by writing or by speaking, that will get your creative juices flowing, discovering who am I really. Then extremes. So what I wanted to say about this is that sometimes we can go both ways. So maybe, like you start from a place where you hate yourself, you're like, I don't like the way I look, I don't like anything, to a place where like, I will just indulge in life. So what I wanted to say is that you want to find a way in between, and that's exactly where your homework gets in, which is the mother yourself exercise. So actually, I have two exercises for you. The first one is this. So think about what you actually want, what really matters to you. What is that you dream of, that you want for yourself? And the second is the mother yourself exercise. So let's imagine that the change that you want is something like, I don't know, a hair color. So you have dark hair and you like blonde hair and you want to have blonde hair in your dream to have blonde hair, you know? Um, how can we actually get to that without overindulging and without doing the opposites? Like, I hate it, or I'm doing too much. And then you're going to bleach your hair the next day? So that's the extreme thing. The idea is think as if you were your mother. So, as a loving mother, you want the best for your kid. And the best for your kid is neither nor. You don't want your kid to hate what they have, but you wouldn't allow your kids to get like bleach their hair the next day completely, because that's just gonna burn their hair, you know? So you would work towards that thing little by little. So you would want your kids to like just don't do anything about it and then force yourself to love that, or try other things. How about you go from dark to a little brown and see how you feel? And somewhere in between, you're going to find a way. It works for everything, everything. So for me personally, it was a little bit about like body. I used to be like much bigger than I am and heavier, and I didn't feel good. It felt to me like I was stuck somewhere that wasn't mine. I was stuck in a body that wasn't mine. And I wanted to get to the other extreme. I was like, yeah, let's just simply not eat at all. And I used to do those things to myself, and that kind of sucks. Like a mother would never do that to her child. If I had to do that again, I would probably go easy on myself, and then I would do the mother exercise. So, summing it up is first, kind of try to strip off all the things and think who you are and what you really want. Then, as your first step, think, how would I do that? But be gentle. How would I do that if I were a loving mother towards my kid? And you are the kid. You are the mother and you are the kid. And that's your exercise. So, I hope you've enjoyed this video. We're gonna dig even deeper into this on our next Burley Talk on the weekend. And also next week when I give you an extra exercise to get things even more flowy for you. So, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. Bye. So, stop share. And